Hey guys, RivalBoss here, and today we're just going to go over a few news stories that happened throughout the week. First off, Mortal Kombat came out, and it was really good. People have really good reviews on this thing. They like that it's really crisp graphics, it looks really nice, it runs at a solid 60 frames per second. Fun storyline, and there's lots of content. It also is very, very bloody, the bloodiest of Mortal Kombat of all time, most say. This has led it to be banned in Japan, which, Japan censors a lot of stuff, so not surprising, but kind of a bummer that it is banned in Japan. It also has an extensive move list and also an extensive fatality list to tell you exactly how to do your fatalities, unlike back in the day in the original ones where you actually had to figure it out. Now you can just pull up a menu and find it right away. Also of note, the Switch version of this game also runs at a really good 60 frames per second, just at a lower resolution, but still pretty hyped about it. Now, some of the things that some people don't like about Mortal Kombat, the new one, is they can find it really grindy. People say that there are a lot of things to do, and the grind to get certain, basically character customizations and such is kind of a lot. Like, you have to do a lot to get each thing. Which makes the game very grindy. But unless you use microtransactions, yes, there's lots of microtransactions in this game, which is a real bummer because, you shouldn't have to unlock a new fatality for, say, using microtransactions. Now, you could unlock those things using a grind, but, most people tend to nowadays spend money to unlock things quicker because time is money in a lot of ways. Also this week, another game that came out is Days Gone. Now, Days Gone is a highly anticipated game back from all the different E3s before, and everybody's really highly anticipating this game. But it has come out to kind of mixed reviews. Some people really like it, some people don't. There's many faults in it. Many people say that the graphics and such look very good, but the story is very long, up to 60 hours, and there's lots of repetitive missions that aren't fun. And that people do like the stealth aspects of it, and the horde mode is really cool and probably very technologically beautiful. But at the same week, in the same amount of time, there is another game that has come out as far as zombies go, with World War Z. Now, yes, that's on PC and such, but and it's on a bunch of other platforms too, by the way. But it looks just as good, and this game has been in Days Gone has been in development forever. So it's kind of a bummer that it's also filled with lots of bugs and other issues. They also say, by the way, thanks to GameStop's new change in their return policy, though, you can go buy this game, play it for up to 48 hours, a little less than that, obviously, and return it if you don't like it, 100% money back. But you don't get your actual money, you get the full credit of the retail price of the game towards something else that you want to purchase. So the money stays inside the company, but you get, another game. So if you don't like it, return it, and you get to play on something else. So also, Nintendo is in the news this week because basically they came out with their quarterly earnings, I believe, and they were supposed to make a certain amount of money. Investors thought they were supposed to make a certain type of amount of money selling their Switches. Even though the Switch is probably one of the fastest selling consoles of all time now, and it's doing really well, the investors were saying, oh, it's supposed to make this number, and it didn't quite make it. It came under, and the Nintendo's like, oh, we're sorry, we didn't meet your expectations, but we are the fastest growing console, and for a long time. So, investors will do what they, are going to do. So investors see that, though, and they're like, oh, no, sell, and then the stock goes down. But Nintendo's also, big news is they're going to start maybe, hopefully, selling in China. So this is going to really help them out if they can tap this market. They've basically partnered with Tencent so they can basically sell Switches, hopefully maybe Switch Minis, who knows, to basically tap that market, because right now the Chinese are just buying up and loving the tech. And if Nintendo can get in there and offer a premium quality product, they're going to sell tons of them. And this Switch might even be, up there with the PlayStation 2. Who knows? Also this week, or actually last week, Nintendo Labo VR came out. And basically, it came out, some people kind of like it, some people don't. The overall consensus on it is that it seems like a very kind of rushed thing. Many of the things they released, they kind of work, but they're not really thought out very well. Like the bird thing, you have to like flap to keep flying and stuff. The elephant is held together with like small little rubber bands and stuff. But the overall consensus is that it kind of doesn't feel good on your face because, there's no foam or anything. And most of the different objects that you attach to it feel like they're going to fall apart pretty quickly with sweat and just wear. Also, they think that a lot of people also say that the Switch also really heats up from being encased in that cardboard. So, who knows if you're doing damage to the Switch, and, eventually, all those parts are just going to wear. Some of the positive things is some of the mini games and such are kind of fun. It does hold the Switch really well in there. It just seems like Nintendo is trying to get into this VR market a little bit too quick. They should have really, thought it out a little bit better. And also the Switch itself doesn't, with that screen doesn't really have high enough resolution or frame rate to really do VR great. So it's kind of a mixed review. If you can find them, maybe wait until they go on sale a little bit. But, it's a neat experience, but not something, super you're going to have to go run out and buy right. And also Nintendo Labo this week actually came out the Mario and Zelda standalones for that Labo VR. So most people find the Mario one is the more fun of the two. It is just a very small series of missions where you're basically finding the musical crew in the game. Basically, they're hidden throughout these different worlds, and you got to find them. Some of the negative things people have said about it, though, is that it doesn't really benefit from the VR that much. There's not really use of it too much, and the head tracking is kind of goofy. You can play these missions, by the way, in undocked mode without the VR, and just to have to experience it, because all you're doing is splitting the screen in two, but you can still play these missions. The other note on that is that people say that there's no real enemies to beat, and it doesn't really have like a feel of a game. It's more of like an experience, which is to be expected. But, not being able to die and stuff, kind of lame. Also, the Zelda one, people say it basically, because it's having to run at such a low resolution and low frame rate, it does kind of tend to make you sick. And also, the game just doesn't look that good. Like the super low resolution, some people have described Link as looking like two blue little eyes attached to a head. I don't know about that. I've seen video footage of it and stuff, and it doesn't look as bad as some are saying, but it definitely isn't a selling point. Like if you were on the fence of buying a Labo VR for these two little peripherals, Mario and Zelda, pass. Just wait for right now. Wait till they maybe come down in price and stuff, and then you can have the experience. And who knows, maybe Nintendo will release some patches to make these experiences better. But as they stand right now, Zelda kind of makes you queasy. Mario is very short, by the way. From what I understand, you can finish it in like 15 minutes. And it's just kind of a neat experience, but not really very fleshed out. They're both not very fleshed out. Also exciting for this channel, this week, Arcade1Up basically tweeted that you can find the Final Fight and Mortal Kombat and Golden Tee in Walmarts now. They are officially now in Walmart, so you can go out and purchase them. The Final Fight cabinet is really cool, and the one I was kind of leaning towards getting. It has Final Fight 1944, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Strider. These are great. These are 4 great ROMs. If you have any of my images, though, you already have these games, maybe even superior versions. But I have heard that these do play really well. The emulation is really good, and they are officially licensed, which is really cool. So the cabinet is really neat. The Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet basically comes with Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat Ultimate. And it is also very well built. As you can see, it has the little red streamlines around the edges, and people really like this cabinet. It looks really good. Also of note is that all the new cabinets coming out have the plastic top, so you won't have to request them or anything out. They're already in the box and good to go, which is a huge benefit. It should have been in there in the first place, but it is what it is. But now you can find these arcade cabinets in Walmart, so keep an eye out. Also making the rounds this week are the Nintendo Mini, which has been announced. Nintendo has confirmed that there will be some type of Mini and some type of Pro. The Pro now is basically being said to not even be in this year. They're going to push it back till next year. But they're also saying that you're not going to see the Mini either before, or during E3. And this might be because, the whole thing with they're trying to get into that China market, which is why they're probably even trying to make the Mini, to be quite honest with you. The Mini, by the way, is supposed to be cheaper than the current Switch currently. And many people think that the little sides won't come off. Some people think they will. Kind of up in the air still. This is kind of representative of what might look like a smaller screen and stuff. But also the Pro is supposed to be like just a slightly upgraded, almost like a PS Pro versus a PlayStation. And they just don't want to release anything like that during E3 because supposedly, coming up in a little bit here, Xbox is also going to be showing their new system off and new generation for, at E3. And why would you want to just show something slightly better when your competition is literally saying, hey, this is the future of gaming, So no new Switch announcements until well after E3. So now is a great time to be excited for the future of gaming. The PS5 specs, Mark Cerny has come out and basically kind of told us what to expect with the PS5, and people are super excited. Basically, it also sounds like Sony is also going to take $100 a hit per unit, so they're going to probably sell this thing for about $500, and they're going to take a $100 loss on each unit sold. This is usually a normal thing for Sony to do. To get the system out there, a lot of times at the beginning of the life of the systems, they lose a little bit of money to get the systems out there, and as time progresses and technology gets cheaper, they get back and actually start making a profit. So, because most of the games and stuff, most of the money for Sony is made on software and software sales, and basically getting money from developers. So basically, but the same week, the Xbox, an insider has said that the new Xbox coming out is actually going to be much more powerful than the PS5. This has not really been confirmed, but we'll probably find out something. They're probably going to announce, Microsoft's going to do it at E3, which is while Nintendo didn't do any of their announcements on their Switches and stuff. Is why would you do that, like I said, when the next generation of consoles is coming out? So basically, there's going to be multiple SKUs for the Microsoft, and there's going to be like a higher end one and a lower end one. Some people think the lower end one is actually just slightly better than the current generation, so they're almost wondering if that's going to be like a streaming system, and then the other one is going to be, because Microsoft is very much trying to become a service first. Like they're going to start they've been in talks with having Xbox Live and stuff come to the Switch and stuff like that. So a lot of people think one of the systems is going to be a streaming device, while the other one is supposed to be this massive, huge, beefy system and a lot of people are thinking that the insider kind of has gotten these ideas that is that much better than the PS5 because of the memory specs and stuff coming out. So, who knows? We'll find out in probably E3 what the next generation of Xbox is going to look like. Exciting times, exciting times. And lastly, this week is also, there has been hints that there is going to be a Ps4 Super-Slim coming out. The price is about 199 euros is what they're saying, which comes out to like 220 something bucks US. I kind of wonder if they're just going to take a hit or a little bit less of a profit and make it 199 here too. I am super excited for that. I love the PS3 Super Slims. They are so cool and small. And even before that, the PlayStation 2 had a slim model, which was like you used to stick those things in cars and stuff. So I am super excited to see what the PS4 Super Slim is. Some people say it's going to be like much smaller than even the current one, the slim model. And it kind of goes with what the PS3 was. We had the Fat, we had the Slim, and then we had a Super Slim, which would make total sense with this. We would just also add a Pro for the PS4. So it's kind of exciting times. We'll see if that comes out. That's supposed to be announced by the end of this year. I'm probably going to pick one of those up if they do have one, because I love the PS4, and having a Super Slim, it sounds really cool. I'm actually waiting for my PS3 Super Slim's dust cover from Printer Boy. Check out some of those review videos if you've never heard of those. But I'm waiting for that, and I'll present that to you guys when I get it. So also, real quick, this week, basically, also I'm going to try to get another video out at some point. I'm also doing like a buying guide, as far as like, a lot of people ask me like, how do you find such good deals, mostly my friends and stuff, on systems and stuff. And I'm going to kind of show you guys where to shop to find old retro systems for cheap. And like, these are some of the things that you might not even think about, but I'm going to try to get that video out by the end of the week. Once again, guys, thank you for all the love and support to the channel. Keep watching and keep liking and subscribing if you want more of this content. It really helps out, and thank you guys for everything. Till next time, this is the RivalBoss, signing off.